Well, the next guest is the founder and CEO of Snap Send Solve. Basically, it's an app where you can take a picture of something like graffiti, pothole, whatever, send it to the relevant authorities, and hopefully they'll fix it. Danny Gorog, good morning.
Good morning, Tom.
Well, do we have a pothole problem in Victoria?
That was funny to listen to. Absolutely, we've got a pothole problem in Victoria. It's just a little bit different, regional versus metro, and I think it depends on whose road you're on. When we look at our stats, and I think the number is we had last year about 12,500 reports, up about 8.5% from the year before. The potholes are all around Victoria. About 30% of them are on Department of Transport and Vic roads, so freeways, highways, etc. But the remaining are on council roads. When we look at the sort of the language that we get in reports, about 18% talk about safety and danger, things like hazards, unsafe. There are things, 18% severe size and sinkhole. So, deep, huge sinkhole-like damage. Car damage is referred to in about 7% of the reports. Risks around cyclists and pedestrians. And then there's these sort of poorly fixed issues that keep coming up. They didn't fix it. The pothole keeps forming. It was filled many times. So there's this futility around, maybe the patch that happens.
Do you have a sense of what is the average time from when a pothole is reported to when it actually gets repaired?
We don't. I don't have that data. We have a little bit of that data. What we track are the solve rates. So we ask the snapper who puts in the report, did the issue get fixed? I haven't checked for this, but in most cases it's sort of between 85 and 95%. Depends. It's easier to clean up dump rubbish than it is to fix a pothole.
Yeah.
Anecdotally, what I can say is I live in Caulfield and I drive up Dandenong Road, and there has been large parts of Dandenong Road that have been fixed. They've been resurfaced, but potholes are still a huge problem, and they're definitely affecting the community. And we're expecting to see probably 9, 10, 12% growth this year just in that category.
There's a road on the Mornington Peninsula I sometimes drive on, and there was one fairly twisty bit of it which had a lot of potholes, and they've been fixed, and they've done a brilliant job. You have about 1.5 k's of just billiard table smooth road, but then at either end of that, it just goes back to really quite bad. So you have this brief period, a minute or so, where you have this nice driving experience, and then it goes back to holes in the road.
Yeah, well, Tom, when we look at it's interesting you say that. So Mornington Peninsula, the region, really had basically a 0% change in potholes from 2024 to 2025. But when we look across the regions, the big standouts to me are, if we look at Geelong, up 24%, right? If we look at, inner Melbourne, up 32%, the western parts of Melbourne, 37%. So these are the areas that are suffering, and maybe that's where the state government or the relevant councils need to look at their program of pothole repairs and maintenance.
Oh, thank you, Danny. Danny Gorog there, founder and CEO of Snap Send Solve, which is a really good app. Graffiti, pothole, whatever. You take a photo, you send it to the relevant council if it is a council, and then you can tell them when it gets fixed. The problem is, of course, is that the person who takes the photo doesn't fix the problem. It's up to the council or Vic Roads to do it, and sometimes they do, and sometimes they